Now, the reality is Mike Mayock lost his job because he was brought in by John Gruden, and John Gruden's no longer there. But the other part of the reality is, and this is where it really stinks, they had to get rid of one of his early draft picks, and another early first-round draft pick is in jail. And, one of them did have some knocks against him in terms of off the field. Henry Ruggs, I asked 5 different teams' front offices when the Henry Ruggs accident went down. Was there any baggage with Henry Ruggs? All of them said no. There were no red flags. He was a small-town kid who had been great at Alabama. The only thing that people had when they did their research was there's some guys from back home. He didn't grow up in the greatest area that were hangers-honors, and he wasn't somebody who cut off the hangers-honors well enough. But none of it, like he didn't have a drinking problem. They was DUI or anything. Nothing. So is it fair? No. Right? Are the Raiders better now than they were before he got there? Yeah. Did they hit every draft pick? No. Feel free, okay, to go back through and tell me every guy who hit on a draft pick. I'm waiting. What's the cat's name? Lamp? That the Chargers drafted a couple years ago.
Forrest Lamp.
Forrest Lamp. All-time great name, right? Go and look. The Chargers drafted Forrest Lamp. You know who went a couple picks later? Patrick Mahomes. Right? Now, look, Tom Telesco is a friend of mine. We've had him on the show, and we've told you how great a job they've done. They drafted Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert is like it's kind of a no-brainer. You can't say Tom Telesco without saying they got Justin Herbert. I don't know if they would have taken Tua if they had a choice between Tua and Justin Herbert. So some of it is luck. And some of it is like, am I drafting for what I need? Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have played at the time because they had Phillip Rivers. Rivers seemed to have 2 more years left. They thought they'd sit Mahomes for 1. Like, there's all these different things. Go and look. Pick the other team. Who else is drafted well, right? Like, you got Sean McDermott has Josh Allen, right? Nailed it with Josh Allen. And they traded for Stephon Diggs, and that's great. They made plenty of other picks that stunk. He was the one who, didn't he play Peterman, right? Remember he put Nathan Peterman in as a rookie? Nathan Peterman was the first year. They had Tyrod Taylor, played Nathan Peterman, I think against the Chargers. And what do you have? 4 interceptions in the first half? Something was just
5. Yeah.
5 interceptions. The Nathan Peterman era started and ended all in the same game. So, again, we can hyper-focus on, I don't think he got Mayock got fired for a bad draft pick. Because you could say, hey, look, they trade away Khalil Mack. That was before he got there to get 2 first-round picks. Okay, they didn't nail they didn't nail some of their defensive players in the first 2 rounds, but they have one of the best pass rushers in football who they drafted in the 3rd round. The way this business works is whatever ship you're tied to, when that ship sails, you go with it. That's how sports works. That's how business works. It's really, really, really hard to hang on and to be with the new regime. It's very, very, it's extremely unlikely. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, and you can tell me, but it's like John Snyder and Pete Carroll, those 2 are tied together, right? Tied together. And, when one comes in and has success with the other and they have a symbiotic and one loses his job, the other one's likely to lose his as well. So it stinks because Mike has always been really good to us, and the Raiders, without any question, are better off now than they were before Gruden got there. There's no argument. I will not listen to any, and I know it took kind of a miracle for them to get there, but a guy can't take a miracle because Gruden got fired and Ruggs, and Darren Waller was hurt, right? It's like you can hold a draft pick, Cleveland Farrell, against him, but then do you give him any credit for getting a Darren Waller and being with him to kind of rehab his off the field issues and get him on the football field and make him into a star. But the Mayock story is one that is important for people to understand. We do a terrible job of telling you what's really going on. We make huge statements about this guy and that guy and one decision. He didn't get fired because Henry Ruggs got drunk and killed a lady in terrible, tragic, preventable accident. No, it's because Gruden got him fired. He was tied to Gruden. He was Gruden's guy. They worked together. Gruden gets fired for 10 years ago emails. That thing was gone. And, of course, Rich Bisaccia can do the job. He's got great energy, great passion. The dudes love him. But owners are going to own. Right? There's an expression in professional sports, which is really important. Owners own. Right? Mike Mayock can say, don't worry, I got this. We got the salary cap. Derek Carr's our guy. He's shown great leadership. We've rebuilt the offensive line around him. It's been better. We got to figure out now what to do without Ruggs, how to manage all this stuff moving forward. I got it. You know, we got Rich, who's not going to cost you a ton of. You can save some money on Rich. The guys love him. He loves doing the job. He'll be here every day. He can clearly do the job. We hire the best coordinators, the best D coordinator. He'll do the special teams as well. It works in Baltimore, right, where they have a special teams coordinator who became the head coach in John Harbaugh, and it worked. All that is great. But you got an owner that he just wants splash hires. You got an owner that clearly doesn't care about having a conversation and allowing the proper goodbyes to be said. Right? If you don't think that name pop matters to Mark Davis, well, hey, look around. In the WNBA, he just, I'm sure, overspent to go and get the highest paid coach in the WNBA who hadn't coached in the WNBA. Right? Why did he give John Gruden 10 years? One, he had to do it to get him out of TV and overpay him. But two, he wanted the name of John Gruden, who had been with the Raiders before. So that's why it went down. And it stinks. Because Lee's wonderful to work with. And I know that people in football, Mike Mayock came in, and that's not easy. When you come off of TV and you got to go do a job, and though you've been covering the profession, like, people give you no special treatment. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. And the Raiders are better now than they were previously. But owners own. And you tie your ship, and when that ship sails, you go out to sea.